Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So pound for pound king, undefeated WBO welterweight champion Terence Bud Crawford sends a cryptic message to the welterweight division and ERROL Spence Jr., showing him pulling up on somebody, burning his tires, and letting all the smoke fly. Basically letting the message be known that he want all the smoke, right? And staring somebody down as he pulled up on the side of them in his Chevelle SS, right? So the problem with this is, you know, everybody knows the fight that everybody wants to see is Terence Bud Crawford versus ERROL the True Spence Jr., as that's the most lucrative, you know, the biggest, the most talked about, the biggest fight in the sport of boxing right now, as it's the most mysterious fight. And when I say the most mysterious fight, it's the fight that people truly don't know who will win the fight, right? It's truly a 50-50 fight in most people's eyes, okay? So you get, if you had 100 people in the room, you know, probably 50 will say this, 50 people will say they're going for ERROL Spence, 50 people will say Terence Bud Crawford is going to win the fight, right? So with that said, 50 people would say Terence Bud Crawford will win the fight, okay? So with that said, you know, this is truly a 50-50 fight. It's a fight that, you know, the boxing world wants to see. You know, it's clamoring. The boxing world's clamoring for this fight, just like they were clamoring for Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua fight. And as of late, you know, Gervonta Tank Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko to a lesser degree, right? But majority of the boxing world feels like ERROL Spence Jr. versus Terence Bud Crawford, you know, is the fight that needs to be made, is the mega fight in the sport of boxing. The problem with that is ERROL the True Spence Jr., undefeated IBF welterweight champion, superstar, boxer, pound for pound, as ESPN has him ranked the #1 welterweight in the world. And that's the platform that Terence Bud Crawford fights on. He represents ESPN platform, as ERROL Spence Jr. represents the PBC and Fox, right? But with that said, you know, everybody wants to see this fight. But ERROL the True Spence Jr. has a huge fight on his hands as he's taking on two-time WBC welterweight champion Showtime Shawn Porter, which is not a gimme fight. You know, I know a lot of people are looking past it because of the status of ERROL Spence, and you know, Shawn Porter already has 2 defeats on his resume. And ERROL Spence Jr. is the young, hungry lion that everybody's perceiving that's going to walk through the division. And the person that they feel is standing in his way is Terence Bud Crawford. But Terence Bud Crawford in this video is a little cryptic, but he's letting it be known that he wants all the smoke with all the welterweights. The problem with this is Terence Bud Crawford, we know that he wants all the smoke with all the welterweights, is that he's on the other side of the block. He's on the side of the block where, you know, he's on the side of the block where he's on a platform that's not eager to do business with the other side of the street. He's with Top Rank, Bob Arum, and ESPN. And so all the other welterweights, especially the champions, are with the PBC and Fox. So it makes it difficult for this fight to, so that's the problem. You know, the problem is that Terence Crawford is with a network that's pretty much preventing him from getting his shot at these other champions. The ERROL Spencers, the Shawn Porters, you know, not even to a lesser degree, Danny Garcia. Bob Arum already came out and said that he was the one that prevented Terence Crawford from facing Manny Pacquiao years ago. Now Manny Pacquiao fought Keith Thurman in a big lucrative fight. Keith Thurman got the fight that Terence Crawford should have got, and Manny Pacquiao won the fight in dramatic fashion, which is a legacy fight, and now he's the WBA champion. So now Manny Pacquiao is getting the opportunities. He's still trending up as Terence Crawford has plateaued. Now he's looking to fight Kostakousis, I believe that's his name, the Mean Machine, in October. But the problem with that is, you know, we know he wants to fight the big fights. We know he don't mind fighting the big fights. We know he's a dog. He wants those fights. The problem is he's on the opposite network, right? And the problem is, it's easier for Errol Spence to make lateral moves because they're not backwards moves. They're lateral moves for Errol Spence to fight Sean Porter for the WBC title. It's a lateral move for Sean Porter to fight Errol Spence, right? It's a lateral move for Manny Pacquiao to fight Sean Porter or Errol Spence. You understand? Opposed to having to deal with joint networks, having to deal with, you know, bringing up the two promoters to the table, you know, and getting them to get on the same accord, right? When you're dealing with Sean Porter and Errol Spence are under the same banner. Sean Porter and Errol Spence have the same management company. Sean Porter and Errol Spence fight on the same network. So it's easy to get made, and it's for a title. And, you know, these are the most lucrative identical titles. The WBA, the WBC, the IBF. You know, the last belt that's recognized, you know, is you know, you pick your poison is the WBA or the WBO, right? But for the most part, you know, the recognizable belts are the WBC, IBF, and then the WBA, then the WBO to a lesser degree. So he happened to have the WBO title, and he just happens to have doesn't have the opponents on his quote unquote side of the street to that are legacy fights, where you have Errol Spence could fight his next two fights. Sean Porter, if he's victorious against Showtime Sean Porter, then he has the opportunity to go ahead and fight Manny Pacquiao, right? Who could argue with that? You understand? If Sean Porter beats Errol Spence, then he goes on to fight Manny Pacquiao. Those are legacy fights, right? Nobody's gonna say they're ducking Terence Crawford. You understand? So Terence Crawford is in a bad predicament, unfortunately. And he has the skills to prove that he's the best fighter in the world, the best welterweight in the world. Legacy fights, he just doesn't have the opportunity. And that's because he made the choice for security over betting on himself. And nothing is wrong with that. He wanted the security, secure his future, secure his family. That's what everybody would do. But the problem with that is the guys on the PBC, the Errol Spencers, the Danny Garcias, the Manny Pacquiaos now, the Sean Porters, right? These guys bet on themselves, and they have the opportunity, Keith Thurman, to face other guys for legacy and still earn the money because they bet on themselves. So they have an advisor, not a promoter. So they have Fox and Showtime. Terence Crawford has ESPN and only ESPN. So they have different outlets, different venues, they have access to different venues. They have access to so many different ways to be exposed to the public in a great way, right? To be promoted, to be advertised, because they have Fox, they have Showtime, right? So they have regular TV. You know, ESPN is the biggest sport platform, right? But ESPN doesn't always help you transition into mainstream media. It doesn't help you transition into being a regular household name. You understand? That's the problem. You get stuck on ESPN as only an icon in the sporting world. But when you're Errol Spence, you're Sean Porter, you're Danny Garcia, you're Manny Pacquiao. Well, Manny Pacquiao doesn't truly count, but you know, you're Sean Porter, you're Danny Garcia, you're Mikey Garcia, you're Errol Spence. You know, these guys, Keith Thurman, you're getting exposed. You're doing regular commercials. It's a whole different atmosphere for exposure. So, you know, that's the problem with this whole entire situation. It's not that Terence Crawford, anybody believes he doesn't want the smoke. It's just that the powers that be are preventing him from proving himself in a legacy fight. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Terrence Bud Crawford sends a cryptic message letting the welterweight world, the boxing world, know that he wants all the smoke with everybody, including Errol Spence Jr. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
The Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the Empress. Much love.